You know, you're not your day.
That's right. And if Daddy were here, he would have hung you out by your ball sack already. You want me to tell him that you're disrespecting me? Didn't think so. Keep it shut about Birdman's 8 mil. You don't want to be fighting the whole town for it.
I can't wait till you guys all see this show. It's so good. But I hear that you actually haven't seen it. Is that true?
I haven't seen it. That was the first time I've seen that clip.
What'd you think?
It's really weird. It's always weird watching. You can't really be objective when the first time you see something and then you kind of watch it again and can be objective.
Do you like pick and choose which things you've watched and which things you haven't watched? Like Johnny Depp, like I guess like renownedly doesn't watch anything he does.
No, I watch everything, unfortunately. But it's really hard. I mean, you kind of like have to get used to watching yourself because that's the job. I feel like sometimes it's actually helpful if I want to improve my craft to watch work that I feel like, you know, I maybe could have done differently or just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you nailed that, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to get a little bit into the beginning, how you first started. I think how you got first cast in your first role was kind of interesting, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, so I started in this business because I was very shy, so I started taking acting classes to overcome my shyness. And then there was this one, I did student film. I used to do a lot of student films for Columbia Film School when I was like 15, and the student filmmaker's girlfriend was interning at a casting office, Susan Shopmaker.
A lot of connections right there.
Yeah, so, and my first audition was for an open casting call, which was, you know, thousands of people, and I didn't get the job. It was me and another girl, and a couple months later, she cast Martha Marcy May Marlene, and that was my first movie.
Yeah, and that was for Skins, right? That first show.
Yeah. So I was really upset when I didn't get it. I was like, I don't know anyone in this business.
And little did you know it was going to start you on this prestigious film career. I mean, Martha Marcy May Marlene was like the hit of Sundance. Lizzie Olsen, this great cast.
We've known each other for
since
almost
that Sundance premiere.
long. We've known each other for a very long time. So I was,
I've seen you flourish into the star of Ozark. Let's talk a little bit about that Sundance experience in filming that first film. I mean, what was it like? Was it a shock?
No, because you know, every single film or production, TV show, whatever it is, you always learn something from it, but you don't really know what you're learning until after you shoot it. But the thing that I learned from, I guess, Martha Marcy May Marlene was how to be on a set. I didn't know this business. I didn't know how shooting a movie worked. So that's what I learned from that set.
And then working with John Hawkes and these incredible actors, what was that experience like?
It was amazing. I mean, I've been very lucky that every shoot that I've been on was with incredible actors and talent and just also really nice people. I feel like that's really important to work with good people because you don't know how the show or movie is going to turn out, you know?
Yeah, and to have the reception out of Sundance when that's all people were talking about. I mean, what was that like experience-wise, you know, for you, a first-time actor, and then
it was crazy. I didn't get it because I was 16. I wasn't in the business for long, so I was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
This is how it works. You just star in hit movies, and then you learn how to say that name a billion times fast, right?
Yeah, my mother doesn't she knows how to say it now, but it took her a while.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you started getting into more film. I mean, so that experience made you want to do more. I mean, can you remember the first couple of projects you chased after that? I mean, it was Sin City. I mean, yeah.
Electric Children. That was the first lead that I ever did, which I learned a lot from that. And We Are What We Are, which is, I think, great to do a horror film because you learn a lot.
Yeah.
And Grandma. Yeah. So, yeah.
Of course. I mean, what was that Sin City experience like? I mean, Mickey Rourke, Josh. I mean, these incredible heavyweights are on set too.
Yeah, it was great. My scenes were with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he's so nice. And it's weird because everything's shot on green screen, so you have to imagine everything, and it was cool. You kind of just played around, and you had limited, there would just be this, you know, and a green screen. So you got to play around.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was a fun acting exercise for you. I mean, what was it like to sort of have to fake that much?
I mean, it was hard, but I always like a good challenge, so.
Yeah. And as far as the next film project, which you're working on now, Ozark, I mean, what was it like to get this script?
Well, I remember when I first got it, I got an email to audition for it, and I read the pilot, and Ruth she's not in the first episode, but I read the pilot, and I just thought the writing was incredible, and to me, writing is everything. What's on paper, it's, it's really important, and I read the audition sides, what I was supposed to read for the room, and it was just the character. I saw already on paper that the character was going to be very interesting and complex.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be super intense for that. I mean, getting prepared for those scenes. I mean, was there anybody you talked to, and how did you practice that?
Yeah, I have an acting coach, so everything I prepare with my acting coach, and I prepared like a month before, but still it was so hard. Like the first month, I was still like trying to find different, like exploring the character, and I mean, I felt like I had it, but not. It's different when you work with people and you have the setting and you have the you have to work with what's being thrown at you, kind of.
You have to be tough. Did you find yourself being tough in your everyday life? You were sort of like
no, I'm so different than Ruth. Yeah. I'm not like Ruth. No.
But you learned a little bit how to put your foot down, right? I mean, that's a great exercise.
I know how to put my foot down, but I'm not like,
You're not
like
outlaw,
Ruth.
is what you're saying. Okay.
What?
You're not an outlaw, that's what you're saying.
No. There was like, let me put it this way. We were shooting once, and I guess the writers were having like dinner, and one of the writers texted me like, hey, we're done on set. Like, what are you doing now? And I was like, I'm watching The Notebook and I'm crying. So I'm very different.
Your character, really.
Yeah.
So, Jason Bateman, he directs a bunch of this. He's heavily involved. I mean, what was it like working with him? What was it like first meeting him?
He's so nice, and he's just so good in his job. He's been doing this for so long, and you work with him, and you learn so much. And I just respect him so. I mean, it's just crazy to me how he directs, stars in it, all at the same time, and he's directing you while he's acting with you. Yeah. And like he'll be like, wait, no, stop. Say that line again. Yeah. And it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah. Did it make you want to direct as well down the road?
No.
It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig.
It's tough. It's very tough. And I'm not gonna never say never, but I'm not thinking about that now.
And then having to stare down your boss on set, that's gotta be interesting when you're trying to intimidate him, in some of the scenes. That's gotta be a little tough.
Yeah, but I like that. I think that's important for the character, for sure, to play around with that.
Now you have like a little gang of criminals. How did you guys all hang out? You sort of started a little posse on set?
Yeah,
Tell me a
everyone
little bit
was
about that.
hanging out, and we had a great time. We really did, and I met some of my closest friends on that shoot.
Yeah, and shooting down in Atlanta, right? What's it like to shoot down there? Was it hot?
In August, it was so hot. It was and then it got colder.
Fits, though.
Yeah, but I liked that, and again, it's kind of one of those things you have to play with what you're getting. So yeah, it was fun. The crew was great. Yeah. So.
Do you have a favorite scene that you can reveal to the crowd here? Obviously, we can't spoil anything, but was there a favorite moment for you and Ruth?
Well, I didn't see the show yet, so. I'm trying to think. I don't know how they're going to turn out, which scene's going to be better or whatever, but I can remember if my favorite time filming, there's one scene where she's going on a job interview, and did you see it? Or see it. Yes. And she's at this strip club, and she goes on a job interview, and she always kind of, she's thinking of something. She always has a motive. So you kind of see her taking on and off her mask. And I think that scene's important because you really see who this person is.
Yeah. I mean, you're so young to be acting these sort of roles. I mean, in The Americans, you had a very serious role. I mean, did that preparation sort of teach you for this experience?
No, because Ruth is just so different. So all the characters that I play, I just try to make sure that all the characters that I play are very different from the last one because I don't ever want to be typecast.
Yeah.
So
You have to give us an experience about the Americans, though. That show is so great, and you are so great in it. I mean, Carrie, Matthew, what was it like working with those guys?
They're so amazing, and they're so good on that show because they have to play so many different people with the wigs and everything, and there's a lot of wigs on that show.
Sounds like a lot of fun, a lot of costume changes.
It's fun, but it's really hard. So they're just amazing. They're really top actors, and I'm just so lucky to be in their company. I feel, I'm like, sometimes I pinch myself. I'm like, oh my God. You know?
Yeah,
So.
even in this show, Laura Linney, I mean, she's incredible. I mean, what was it like working her and meeting
She's
her?
so incredible, and she's so nice and warm and just everything you want her to be. She's just perfect. I love
Sounds like
her
everybody
so much.
sort of drops their roles as soon as it hits cut. Like everybody like sort of lightens up a little bit because the show is very intense.
It's very intense. So it was really nice that everyone was very supportive and it was like a family because it would have just gotten very heavy.
Now, talking about great women that you've worked with, Lily Tomlin and Grandma, you were so good in that premiere in Tribeca, and it was such a great experience. Yeah,
too,
Sundance
yeah.
and Sundance as well. I mean, what was it like working with her? She's an icon. I mean, it was like working with Lily.
She's incredible.
You guys have to watch it if you haven't seen it. You play a pregnant teen. And
and
she plays
Lily's
a grandmother.
playing my grandma. No, she's just, and she's so smart and interesting and just, she's just a really good person. And I'm very lucky to know Lily and to have worked with her. I mean, just just watching her on the monitor and how she, talks to the director, like Paul Weiss, who's amazing, is just so interesting. Yeah. So.
I mean, did she say anything ridiculous like her character does? I mean,
yeah,
she seems
but
like she's such a hoot to be around.
Yeah.
You have to give us a little tidbit about what it's like working with her.
God, she says so many funny things. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember, but she always says something really funny. Yeah. So.
Do you end up staying in touch with a lot of the people that you work with? I mean, who do you stay
usually,
in touch with?
I stayed in touch with a lot of the people from Ozark. Pretty much, I feel like a lot of people. Maybe, people are always busy, but we're always in touch. Yeah. So.
And 1% More Humid that also premiered recently.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that.
With Juno Temple's a really good friend of mine as well. So yeah, we all stay in touch.
I mean, do you guys find yourselves acting things out, like talking to each other about new roles? I mean, what's coming down the horizon?
Yeah, we really, and if we have a problem, we ask each other for advice. Like some friends that, I'll call them and if I'm dealing with something and they'll give me what they think, another actor's perspective, which is great to have friendships like that in this business.
Now, the Ruth stare down, did you practice that a lot? Did you?
The stare down? Is there a stare down?
Yeah, I mean, the sort of like when you're like intimidating people, you're trying to confront up,
No. I just thought of really awful, I just was, I guess, upset at that moment at my scene partner, so maybe it just came out naturally. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, do people know what to expect? I mean, can you tell people what to expect from this show? I mean, obviously, there's drugs, there's intrigue, it's got everything.
Can expect,
yeah, exactly.
But with Ruth, you can't expect anything. So just expect that. You don't know what to expect. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. That's a good teaser. I like that. So what's coming up for you next? You have Waco, right? That was announced.
Yeah, so I finished that 3 weeks ago now. So I just got back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was an intense experience too. It sounds like Taylor Kitsch. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that project? Yes.
Yeah.
A couple of names. You're not working with anybody. I mean, what's going on?
I'm lucky, and I've a really good team, and I've a good agent and manager, and I have good people and a good support group and stuff. So I'm very lucky.
Can you shout out that acting coach? Because obviously they're...
And my acting coach. My acting coach is like my mom, like my second mom, yeah. So. Have
you guys ever doing interesting exercises that you hear about?
I've been working with her since I was 14 years old. So she's known me since I've started acting. So she's known me for a really long time. And if I feel like I'm stuck with something, I just go to her and we talk it out. And yeah. It's good.
I mean, I want to talk about Waco. I mean, tell me a little bit about that experience. I mean, that's the first series that of Viacom's new Paramount Television, right? So it's a part of a big rebrand. So tell us a little bit about the show.
Yeah, the show is about Waco, Texas, the cult in '92 with David Koresh, and how it's the last days of Waco. It's very, very heavy. It was really hard. I mean, the shoot, everyone was so nice. I've been very lucky with all these nice shoots, but it was a very nice shoot, but it was very, very heavy. And it was hard. It was very hard. You know, we had helicopters, testing bombs, gas masks, all these really intense situations that no one should ever go through.
I mean, I feel like you deal with a lot of intense situations. How much research?
I know. I need to do like a rom-com.
You need to do like a rom-com. I mean, the Lily Tomlin grandma, that was pretty great. So
I know, but I want to do something even more silly. Like, you know, that's
nice.
still,
Get it out there. People are out
there.
You know, how much research do you do into something like a cult like that? I mean,
well, Waco, I actually got to do a lot of research because it was a true event. You know, but then there's some, and I guess Martha, it's a cult, so you do, and even Ozark, I can do research because I can research the kind of people that I'm playing, and yeah, I do research a lot of research, but I also don't want it to get to my head either.
Yeah, I mean, like you did the cult process, Martha, Marlene.
I know all these cults.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you have people reaching out to you and telling you about their stories? I feel like this is something
with cults
that
and
with
stuff.
Cults, yeah, exactly.
Not really. I mean, when we were shooting Waco, we had one of the survivors on set. And that was really intense. He was really nice and super generous and just telling us about the story and what happened and just kind of reliving that, which it's really amazing and nice that he did that.
Yeah. Was there a part of his story that you found completely incredulous or that you used for your character?
No, the whole thing is just, I think, the thing that I thought about that really stuck to me was that, you know, my character was born in this. She didn't join the cult. She was born in the cult and raised in the cult. So she didn't know any better. But the thing that stuck to me was that this could have been anyone. This could have been any of us, you know, if we grew up like that. And, you know, so it's very heavy. It got really, really heavy. Yeah.
I mean, what else is coming out for you next? I mean, I feel like you're always working on a billion things.
There's another thing, but I can't talk about that.
Talk about that, yeah. Well, we'll talk about Ozark some more then.
Yeah,
I mean, tell us a little bit about what the cast did for fun. You guys mixed it up a little bit.
Oh, well, we were all in Atlanta, and we were just like, you know, doing kind of watching TV, just doing things that like friends would do. You know, watching
with
TV
Jason
Bateman, you know, and especially the Langmore family. Like, we were all so close. Like, all those guys were like my brothers. You know, they would come over to my apartment, and I would cook them food sometimes, and they would use my washing machine and dryer. Like we would do laundry.
What does Julia Garner make for her fellow castmates that are coming over?
What?
What do you make?
I always offer if anyone needs a washing machine and dryer because, you know, if they're staying at a hotel, like, they need that, and they're a block away. So. But
when you're doing a potluck and you're having your criminal friends come over, what are you making for them?
I don't know, eggs or something. I don't know, something simple. I'm not like a cook, so, but I can make some sort of food.
Yeah, when are you going to watch this? Are you going to watch it on Friday with everybody else? I feel the great thing about Netflix is
I might watch it with my
binge.
family.
Yeah, okay.
Because they can be objective, and, you know.
So there's nothing in there that your family's not going to be weirded out by. I guess they've seen everything by now, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, they know about the show, and they're super open, so they're not going to be weirded out. Yeah. I grew up in New York too, so it's not, what is weird?
Plenty weird here for sure. You know, are you excited to have something that comes out all at once so that people are going to be able to watch the entire show and know the ending within a couple of days?
Yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also really nervous because this show was 7 months of my life, including after when they were doing the edit. I mean, I moved on to Waco and stuff, but still was in the back of my mind. And it's weird that it's coming out and people that we're sharing it with the world. So I just hope that everyone likes it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I mean, do you see a second season for Ruth? No spoilers or anything like that? I'd love to see that.
I don't want to say, I can only hope, but I don't know. I hope so, because Ruth is so much fun to play.
Yeah. Does she change a lot from the first couple episodes that I've seen?
Oh, Ruth?
From where she, Ruth, the character, yeah.
Does Ruth change? I mean, I view Ruth almost like a wounded dog. Like, she is barking and biting and she's on a leash, and you're like, stay away from this dog. And then, this is stupid that I'm making an example of
this
dog.
is actor talk like this.
And then, then if you hit her, it starts crying. And you see that she's just really sensitive, and she's impulsive, and she acts, and then she thinks. She doesn't think and then act, and she wants to be in power so bad, and she wants to be in control because she feels like she has no control over her life whatsoever. So she does not such good things.
We do so good at it. So there's some audience questions. We're going to start right there.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So which special guests or celebrities would you like on the show?
Special celebrities or guests on Ozark?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I already have Laura Linney and Jason Bateman, so that's pretty cool.
Got to bring Lily Tomlin in. You
Yeah,
gotta work
maybe
with her
Lily
some more.
Tomlin. She can play like my
Grandma?
druggy grandma or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many good actors, so it's really hard to pick like on the spot. It's like saying, what's your favorite movie or whatever. No,
that's a good answer.
Sorry.
Very diplomatic. Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
We have another question for you back there.
Hey.
Hi.
So you said you started acting because you were shy. Do you feel like you were able to overcome that now, or do you still feel like stage fright sometimes? And I know that you were supposed to do an off-Broadway show before, but it didn't work out. And do you plan to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I always think that, never say no. You never know with life. I am still shy. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was very nervous before I came on here. So
Doing great. Don't worry about that.
I mean, I still am. Yeah, I mean, I am shy, but this job kind of, you have no choice. This is obviously like not a normal thing to like come up here and be on a mic and like talk to everyone, so, but I love my work. I love acting and I love my craft and I love working with people and meeting people. And so I hope that answered your question.
Great answer. We have one last question right there.
Hi, I actually saw your movie at Tribeca, 1% More Human with Juno. I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, like, as an actress, like, how difficult is it for you to portray all these different characters, whether it's on film or TV? Because, it seems like most of the stuff you've done is, like, really, really intense at times. So I'm just wondering, like, what was hard about it?
The hardest thing about doing those scenes is... like if I have to think about like everything that you see on screen, those are my emotions. Those are my real, even though some of the situations I've never been through, all those feelings, that's all real. That's all how I would react. That's how I would, that's how I feel. So after I'm done with that scene, I get really depressed and I just feel like it was terrible. I don't I hate myself.
Well, we saw the clip and it's so good. And Ozark drops tomorrow. Check it out on Netflix, guys. Yeah. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank
Julia.
you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles. I'm so happy. Thank you.